Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in today. This is Allie Tarot 108 and today we are doing a tarot reading which is in a little bit of a different format than what I've been doing lately. So we are today taking a bunch of our different oracle cards as well as tarot afterward to look into a current world situation which has happened. And if you've clicked on the video, you know what it's about. This is about the Air India Ahmedabad plane crash which happened on Thursday. It was a flight of 242 people which crashed down, and from the plane crash, the plane itself, there was only one survivor, and they are as well calling the people who were in the building survivors as well, because the plane did crash into a university hostel. Yeah, and there is a lot of news coming out about it right now, and I just really want to offer something to the families of the victims of that plane crash. I've been following it. It's super heartbreaking, guys. As I'm talking right now, I'm just like tearing up because it's so sad, you know. It's so incredibly sad, and there are so many questions going on about it right now, like how did it happen? There as well, the police, they are questioning people who were filming the flight, because it seems like there could be questions around terrorism, if this was done on purpose. And yeah, I feel like there are so many open-ended questions about this right now. There are things that are known, but there are questions as well, and it is now Saturday, a few days after the crash, and yeah, they have found the black box to the plane. The black box of the plane is essentially the brain of the plane. It transmits all the messages, it records all the messages and all the things that have happened on the flight. So they are going to open that, and there's going to be more information that is coming out in the next few weeks or even more about everything. And yeah, it's just such a horrible tragedy. But before we begin the reading today, I want to first offer a little candle, keep it burning during the reading. I have these flowers from my altar that I offer on my altar. So we call them, in Sanskrit, we call them like Mahaprasad. Like, it means like that those things which have been offered directly on the altar. And it's said that you can get mercy from those things, benefit from those things. So I just now want to make a little offering to the souls, departed souls, and to the families, and to the energy of this situation. So let's offer. I hope it takes. Yeah. So let's together say a little prayer for the families and the departed souls of the Ahmedabad Air India plane crash that happened this week. So please join your hands if you can, and let's say, so we offer our homage and great respects to those departed souls that have left this world this week. For whatever reason, they came into this world and left this world in such a way that has affected greatly the lives of loved ones, and people all around the world. It's a shock to everyone all around the world. So let their souls pass on and leave this world and pass on to another life in another better place. May their families find peace, and may this tragedy serve as an event which can potentially be used for good in the world. Maybe there can be changes in the airline industry or other important changes that come because of this tragedy. But generally, pray for the people of India, the people of the world dealing and coping with this loss at the moment and this shock. And we sincerely wish that those souls are finding their way to the light, to a positive place, and let them pass on. So, yeah, may these flowers serve as an offering to those souls and bring them closer to the light, to the lightness beyond this world. And let them not dwell here and stay here, because it is something that can happen with tragedy. Those souls, I get the feeling right now, guys, I'm telling you that from such a tragedy like this, there are still souls of those departed who have not come to realize that, or not come to accept that they must pass on. I feel that the area there in the hostel area, like there's gonna need to be a cleansing of those, well, we call it jivas in Sanskrit, like those embodied souls. Many of them, because it's such a tragic event and it happened in such a terrible way, it can often be hard for those essentially ghosts to leave this world and realize that they need to move on from here, that they're not embodied anymore. It can also be a situation where they're trying to understand where they are and they may be lost actually, because it was not a peaceful death essentially. And we can't exactly say that this wasn't meant to happen, you know. Some things are written in history, some things are written in the scroll of time, but yeah, lately we have been seeing a lot around, I have been seeing a lot lately on my social media feed just coming up even before this disaster, which were videos of bloggers and people posting like, look at the quality of Air India flight, it's so bad. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep this here today. Where shall we keep it? In the corner, in the middle? I feel like we could keep it in the middle because let's keep it in a place where we can see it essentially. Suppose we can see it there. So we are going to take a bunch of oracles today, guys, and look deeper into this situation for things that we need to know. We've got a lot of different gifts, a lot of different decks today. I do want to take a word from the Gita deck as well. If you are familiar with the Bhagavad Gita, it's the Song of God, and it's a very well-known text around the world if you're not familiar with it. Since we are talking about India today, I do have a strong connection with India, and I was living as a kind of nun or lady monk for several years in ashrams in like Indian traditions. So yeah, I do feel that strong connection to spirituality of Sanatana Dharma. which many people also call Hinduism, but many people don't like that word because Hindu was a name given to the people of the like northern Indus Valley by foreign invaders, by invaders who really pillaged them. So it's not an ideal word, but it's an ism, you know, in modern world. Hinduism, like Christianity, Islam, is, you know, it's an ism kind of. But yeah, anyway, I want to take one card from the Gita deck today to ask the divinity, you know. I have my little Lord Krishna here as well, so I can just take him. I have my little Lord Krishna. So he's here with us today, and we are going to ask the Gita deck, Lord Krishna. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna speaks to his devotee Arjuna, and he gives advice essentially about many different things and knowledge. He opens up knowledge about the transmigration of the soul, about a lot of different stuff. So let's take one card. So these cards are actually verses from the Bhagavad Gita, and we're going to ask for a little advice. So what do we need to know? Lord Krishna, what do you want to tell us about the situation, about the survivors, about the families, about the final moments of those people who have departed? What do you want us to remember in this situation? For the viewers, what is the advice that you want to give us here? So let's take it now. I feel we had to take the bottom one. Oh, I see. Maintaining balance. So this deity here is, so this is called Ardhanar Ishvara, which is the combination of like the divine masculine Shiva and the divine feminine Parvati. They are together. So it's maintaining balance, kind of like that yin and yang balance. Yeah, we have to remember in this situation, keep balance within, because we can, you know, get lost in the emotions. I mean, if just imagine we're just onlookers. For myself, I'm just an onlooker and I'm feeling so upset about this whole situation, and it's like, can you imagine the people who are directly involved? It's just astonishing. So what do we need to know? Words from Bhagavad Gita. It's Natyas natastu yogosti na che kantam anashanataha na chatisvarna shilasya jagrato neva charjuna. So it means one can have no success in yoga if one eats too much or too little, nor can one be successful if one sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. So it's just essentially the message: keep balance in this situation. For the people who are survivors or who are directly involved with this situation, it's like, try to keep balance because it can be overwhelming, is the feeling I'm getting. So yeah, let's keep it here. And we are now taking a message of life about this situation. So what do we need to know about this situation? We are also going to try to look into the future of what this situation changes for the airline industry, or for whatever it may affect. You know, there's can be a butterfly effect. So we're going to see what this situation affects as well. So what do we need to know about this situation? Oh my God, everything changes, okay? It says, a soft light radiates from my heart. It illuminates those around me and transforms every situation I encounter. I maintain a positive attitude in spite of any difficulties I may perceive. No matter the circumstances, I remain a source of true joy. Everything changes when it is bathed in the light of the divine. Okay. So what I'm getting from this, and what I was feeling as well, it was that there are going to be some changes that are being made in the airline industry, or in specifically Air India. because of this event. And it's like, I get the message right now, I get these words coming up, this had to happen in order for something to wake up, in order for something to change. So it's like there's going to be an outcome in this situation from this crash, which we're going to see it very, very strongly. Yeah. I want to take also one oracle of Ganesh to ask, okay, ask Lord Ganesh, destroyer of all obstacles, and actually the son of Shiva and Parvati. So let's see what comes up from Lord Ganesh. Okay, clear your energy. That's really interesting. Yeah, it's crash energy. You know, this is coming up. That's clear. You know, it was a crash. And I feel like the advice also coming up here is that this event was actually it was a crash, but somehow it was also a breakthrough. And I'm interested to see coming up in our reading, like, what is that breakthrough? What is that thing that it is crashing through, you know, metaphysically, in a sense. I want to take one of these. It's not about past life today, these cards. This is about getting a deeper insight into this situation. So what do we need to know about... Okay, there's something going on here. What do we need to know about the... I feel like these cards are coming up to tell us about the victims and survivors. So what do we need to know about the victims and survivors in this event? Oh, okay, assault. Yeah, victim. Okay. Witness, perpetrator, bystander. Now it says SEX, you know, assault, but I feel like in this case we know it's not necessarily like that. It's just an attack or assault for sure. Like, it's a thing you see, this whole thing. Okay. So what do we need to know? It looks like what I'm getting in this wow. Well, you know, I do get a message as well that there could have been some people on the plane who were dealing with some deep, dark stuff going on around them. But we know also that from the videos and everything, there were people on the plane who were simply families with young children and, you know, really, really quite innocent. So it's like, yeah, we know this is a serious thing. But what I get here from these things, like abandonment, aesthetic, like this dementia, also dementia coming up is like death, dementia. It's like forgetfulness. So they are questioning right now, was it a case of the crew, flight setup crew, not doing something correct, and that's the reason why this plane crash happened, or was it another reason? So they have got that black box. They are investigating further, like, why did this happen? And, you know, how did this happen as well? How did this happen? How on earth did this manage to happen? That's such a huge tragic disaster. You know, you go up in a plane and you're thinking that everything's going to be okay, but no, it happens that it's not. So these machines can fail, and we have to be very careful. And we have to also, I want to say, look at astrological things happening on the day that we book our flights or travel plans, because I have been told as well, and I believe it's in Indian logic as well, that it's not good to travel on Thursdays. So this crash has happened uh, on, well, it was, let me see. This plane crash, everybody's writing about it right now. So yeah, it was on Thursday that this happened. Yeah, I just was double checking, guys. So yeah, it was on Thursday. So as Indian logic, I've heard it several times from different gurus and masters, it's not good to travel on a Thursday for whatever reason. It can be quite unlucky. So it's like we have to consider what's going on. And like you can often see that there are these crazy world events that happen all at one time. Like because of astrological things, usually. Like we know that a couple days ago on Thursday, I believe, it was a really intensive day. Like we had Israel attacking Iran, a new war starting between Israel and Iran, and then this huge plane crash that happened. It's like, it's no coincidence, that these things happen. So we are taking this card now. So let's ask, what do we need to know about this situation? What are some information I'm downloading and I'm getting this indication about this card right now, that this card is again about the victims and survivors. So let's see what comes up. Courage, okay. Let me be open to courageously take the steps that are shown. Okay, so wow guys, this card is like showing me that in those final moments, those people, when I'm, as a psychic, as a medium, when I tap into this situation and I psychically see and feel those final moments of those people, it's just so heart-wrenching for me that I have to um, look away, like psychically look away, I'm seeing that in those final moments, those people, they did, pray. They did really pray and hold on, for their life. I'm seeing, in those final moments, it's like I'm hearing these words, we believe in God. And you see here these two birds flying out from this elephant, I get the indication here about this card, like this elephant is kind of like the plane itself, and these birds flying away. Elephants are so huge, and those planes are so huge as well. Those birds flying is like those departed souls flying. Like, it's so sad. I'm actually getting an indication right now about the children that were on board the flight, and I'm actually getting a message right now from one small boy spirit who was on the flight, and he wants to tell me, and he wants to tell the world as well, that he tells something kind of sweet and childish, that my mommy, daddy did everything they could to, keep me alive, is what I'm hearing, or keep me safe. Wow, it's really, it's heart-wrenching, guys. Yeah. So let's ask in these oracles, what is the message that we need to know? And I'm getting the indication right now, guys, that this oracle is coming up to tell us about the future and what is going to change because of this plane crash. And also, it's that thing about who is going to be blamed or what is going to be the reason. So this is coming up in these cards. There are two cards. This is a card, but I feel like this may be a secondary thing. So let's see what comes up. That's interesting. Number 5. So it's Leo energy plus Aquarius. Yeah, so what this is telling me is about investigation. I see. Yeah. So with this, you see pillory, open dishonor, humiliation, finding fault, punishment, abusive, shutdown, caught, public ridicule and mockery, nowhere to run, censure, serving time, vulnerable. Okay, so I feel like the outcome of this case, and keep in mind, guys, disclaimer, these readings are for entertainment only. But what I feel coming up is that they are going to blame someone who's currently still here on earth, not someone who has died. They are going to blame someone for this mishap, for the things not being done properly. Someone is going to be blamed. Now, part of it is Air India going to be blamed. I feel there being a lot of upset from general public and general people, like a lot of upset, like yeah, there are going to be I feel like there are going to be a few people who are convicted because of this. They're going to be on trial or something like that. Like something wasn't done properly is the indication I'm getting, or like something wasn't checked out. It could be something with mechanics. They're going to find a person to blame, I feel. And I see the CEOs and like directors of Air India being like with their head in their hands, like, oh my goodness, how could this happen? You know, how on earth could this happen? Like, our company is going to be ruined, is what's coming up. And I don't particularly feel like this was an act of sabotage on Air India. I also don't feel like it was really terrorism or anything like that. Keep in mind, guys, these readings are for entertainment purposes only. But what I'm saying is, I feel like this happened as an accident, like really an accident, something that wasn't controlled. I feel like we're going to take this card at the end for whatever reason. There's this weird white stuff on here. And this, don't know what that is, but it's interesting. It gives giving me an indication as well. So, yeah. We also need to take, I feel called today to open up this deck, Cali Oracle. I have not worked with her much before, but I feel like Mother Cali is calling on me today to seek her guidance and advice, because I feel this energy of like female destroyer energy coming up these days. As well, I am, you know, on my moon, which gives a energy within itself of destruction in a way. So, and cleansing, you know, there's also that energy of, it's maybe controversial to say, but like cleansing through destruction. So let's see what comes out from Mother Cali right now. Okay, I feel like I have to shuffle a bit more. What else? This. Oh. Khadga. Khadga. So what is Khadga? This is card number 9. So it says, she wields the holy sword of divine severance, empowering the soul in radical letting go. She instills the courage to bear the pain of loss and the wisdom to realize the secret blessing that can only arise when we embrace change. Where our strength of will may falter, she intervenes to ensure we do not sabotage our ultimate fulfillment and spiritual progress. She will not allow our souls to be ensnared in any kind of deception or trapped in fear. She is the liberator, and her sword clears the path, revealing truth. Khadga, yeah, Khadga. Khadga is the Sanskrit word for sword. Devi Khadgahatsa means the divine mother who wields the sword. What is this sacred weapon? The sword severs, breaks, and destroys. It can be a symbol for truth and the need of the soul to let something or someone go, even though the attachment of the ego may demand that we remain connected out of fear of loss or fear of the pain of loss. Devi Kali's sword is the symbol of her will and her attainment. Her sword knows which attachments require severing and when and how to obtain such a release. Even when the holding on, perhaps out of fear or guilt or doubt, denies us the capacity to even consider walking away, her will prevails. Sometimes we invest in a relationship, a situation, a place, or an opportunity because we feel it is needed and beneficial, only to realize later, if at all, that we have outgrown it. Then it becomes, at best, something slowing down our awakening, and at worst, a direct impediment to our spiritual growth. Regressive tendencies creep up on us slowly, so that we don't realize how much damage is being done over time. Even if we have a sense of something is not quite right, our awareness can never be complete when we are determined to remain attached and unwilling to see any truth that threatens that attachment. Any unwavering desire for a particular outcome locks us into an unwillingness to see the truth that would shift our perspective and open us to a superior outcome. We may admit something is wrong, but choose to believe that if we just change ourselves somehow or work harder to heal the other person, then the negativity will transform into something positive. We then become trapped in an impossible situation of our own creation, knowing something is not working, but as we are not capable of letting go, fooling ourselves into thinking we can heal and transform through methods that cannot accomplish the task. When Kali Devi's sword appears as a message, she advises that whatever we are struggling with can and should be handed over to a higher power. She will sever the threads of attachment, and we can trust that if someone or something is meant to remain in our lives or to return, according to divine love and wisdom, then so it shall be. We need to go against divine love to keep something. It can only create suffering. She will not only remove that impediment on your path, but support you, so the release brings you joy rather than endless sorrow. The oracle of Khadga denotes divine workings in a struggle you are moving through at this time. That's interesting, isn't it? The oracle of Khadga denotes divine workings in a struggle you are moving through at this time. There are a predestined series of events due to occur. Wow, guys, wow. There is a predestined series of events due to occur as orchestrated at a higher level. The timing will incorporate the paths of those you have soul contracts with and the movement of the collective consciousness. For you to be at the appropriate vibration to move in harmony with where you need to be and whom you need to interact with, certain releases have to take place now. You can trust in the doors that close just as much as the doors that will open as a result. Okay, so there's an invocation here as well. So it says, Beloved Divine Mother Kali, Devi Khadgahatsa, you wield the divine sword of protection that severs attachment and allows for spiritual progress and freedom for the heart to find and express divine fulfillment. May the process of letting go bring me peace and receptivity to the great blessings you generously bestow upon me for the spiritual benefit of all things. Jai Ma Kali. Okay. So, it's something about ritual and meditation and savasana or corpse pose. So, guys, what the message I'm getting from this card, basically, if we read all that, it's just incredible, isn't it? To see how there is the hand of divinity in everything. To see how that sword of like severance is happening, and I get an indication as well that this was something of a wake-up call for people, and I feel like particularly for Air India as well, I feel like there are things actually that this company has been covering up. And there are things that have been going wrong. And for whatever reason, I feel like, yes, this plane crash is a huge disaster. It's like one of the biggest, it is the biggest, I believe, plane disaster that has happened in Indian history. Like how many people have died, it's just, it's unthinkable. But it's like, I get this indication, like, I don't know why it comes up, that this disaster happened because this company, they had to wake up, but not only this company, many people around the world. I feel like there is this message about collective prayer and people coming together. Doesn't matter about caste or creed. We know that India has been having some issues recently, like with, there's always some issues going on with the northern border. But yeah, there is this indication about like this had to happen for things to change in a big way. And I feel like it is going to change things in a very big way, kind of like 9/11, you know, how 9/11 changed things. The attack on the Twin Towers in the US, it completely changed things surrounding security. And it also, it also changed things politically and just in a big, big way. You know, it changed things, those attacks on 9/11. So this is something kind of like that. But I do get this indication like it wasn't necessarily done on purpose, but some kind of carelessness. But I feel like there are going to be huge and new developments in the flight industry or in the creation of aircrafts or in the building of aircrafts that change things. So I feel like there is a technological kind of reason for this terrible disaster. And also, from this card, we heard about it, the whole carrying on of the soul and carrying on of people. Like, I feel like for the people who are directly involved, there is an indication from this card, like about the hand of God, like the hand of Goddess actually going to help you and lead you on through this time, through this dark time is what's coming up. So yeah, I want to now take the tarot and ask, you know, what is the future actually of this situation? How is it going to unfold even more? Who is going to be blamed? And like basically what is the reason also for this plane crash, why it happened? Okay, Ten of Pentacles in reverse. What else is coming up? Three of Swords. Ten of Swords. Okay, a lot of 10 coming up here. What else? Why did this have to happen? You know, why? Six of Wands. Okay, reversed as well. What else is coming up? The Fool. Okay, it's interesting. What else? King of Swords. Nine of Cups. Okay, it's interesting. With the King of Swords here, I get this message and energy around lawmakers. I was actually seeing the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but I don't feel it only being limited to that. I see actually world leaders, European, especially world leaders. I don't know why I'm seeing French President like Emmanuel Macron. I don't know why I'm seeing him in particular, but I'm seeing also Germany. But I feel like world leaders, there's going to be some kind of changes or policy, legislation. I know that it's coming up very soon. It's now middle of June 2025 that Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he will be visiting the G7 summit. He will be visiting Canada and he will be visiting a few other countries for the G7 to talk about, you know, what they talk about at G7. But I feel like this is going to be a big topic coming up. And I feel nations around the world being very also scared and questioning the safety of aircrafts and of air travel. as well. And I feel like there can be some new serious developments in technological research into the safety of aircrafts. And we know particularly the plane was a Boeing 787, and it came down, and I was looking at some comments which said that, these Boeing planes are often the culprit for plane crashes. I don't know if it's necessarily 100% true. Maybe you guys can tell me. Wow, a piece of the candle just fell as I said that. So I feel like it's an indication as, yeah, something more is there. But like, I feel there's gonna be great research and money invested from around the world into research on flights and on planes, and on safety, ensuring safety. Kind of like what happened after 9/11. Western nations, they really buckled down on the safety security, especially in America, with the flight travel. So with the 10 coming up here, we have 10 of Pentacles in reverse, we have 10 of Swords in reverse. Oh, it's interesting as well. Isn't that like, see this kind of family here as well? And these are like amla berries, If you know anything about Ayurveda or like Indian medicine, well, it's like a gooseberry, It's like an Indian gooseberry. And the Indian gooseberry, amla, is said to be something which is very sour, and it can actually purify, it's like pure vitamin C. So it can lighten the skin. It's said to be very healthy to take it, So it is this energy, I feel, of, it's kind of purification, you can say, but it's in reversed here. So it's like really like, ooh, sour. The downside of amla, the good side of amla is it's purifying. The bad side of amla is it's very sour, and it can be difficult to take it, with the 10 of Swords in reverse here as well. We've got, like, you see here, oh my God, guys, I feel like this is the site of the crash itself with all these souls flying up, in reverse. It's like that thing also, like, it's not an easy thing to handle. It's not an easy thing to change. And with that 10 energy, it gives me that Saturn energy. And in astrology, the 10th house is the house of business and business dealings. And it is that Saturn energy. And Saturn in astrology also represents heavy machinery. I just knew when I was going to do this reading that the 10s were going to come up, because it's that big Saturn energy from flights, from machinery, all types of machinery. It can be a car, can be mobile phone, can be, computers. I am hearing computers coming up strongly, but yeah, with that 10 energy, it's like about the plane, something is going to happen regarding technology. And with that 10 energy as well, the 10th house is about the outside dealings. So I feel like these cards are speaking to things that will happen on a level which is not like, I feel like these cards are not speaking about the personal level of what's going on with the victims and their families. Rather, it's speaking about changes in the world of aviation and in the world of flight. But also I'm hearing logistics or laws, or something also to do, it could be with hiring process, like of people who are checking flights and checking the plane before it goes off, or maintenance and those kind of things. I see also with that 10th house energy, Saturn energy, it's like money being invested. And with this 3 of Swords here, the number 3 is giving Gemini. And with that green energy, it's a lot of communication. It's about communication. I feel like we're going to see coming up in the next couple of weeks press conferences. Not only that, but beyond the next couple of weeks, coming into the next several months and even years, we're going to see a lot of communication and commemoration around the victims of this plane crash. We're going to see, I see here from the flower, I'm getting the energy of a grave, or grave site or memorial site. And it's like, I see there being very, very big memorials happening for this, for the victims of this plane crash and their families. Like, I actually, where I live right now, I don't know if any of you remember, but a few years ago, there was a Ukrainian Airlines flight which was intercepted in Iran, I believe. It was shot down, and it was said to be a mistake. Um, but just nearby where I live, just outside my window, there's a park here where there's a big commemorative stone for the victims of this crash, plane crash. So, yeah, I feel from this there's going to be a, a, these two things simultaneously, like commemoration of the victims and also this talking, public talking, and notices that say we are doing our best to try to ensure safety. And I feel as well for Air India companies, some things are going to be changing for them big time. Like they could actually be losing a lot of money. You see with Ten of Pentacles here in reverse, it's like something could be lost with money. Because number 10 gives that Saturn energy. So it's like, yeah, they are going to have to invest time, effort, money, energy, hiring people and experts and new people. And I'm seeing as well this message about hiring experts from around the world. It's not only going to be Indian engineers and people who are involved. There are going to be people from around the world who are involved. Yeah, with Six of Wands here, the number 6 from the astrological sense is that 6th house of hospitals, actually. So with that, I get this energy with the wands. It's like wands means taking action. So we know right now there's a lot of investigation into the forensic DNA and into caring for the survivors. Now, the only survivors, other than the one man who escaped the actual plane, the only survivors from this were the ones who were in the hostel where the plane crashed, because nobody could get out of the plane. It was on fire. And if you see the horrible images of the bodies coming out, those people were burned to their death, unfortunately. So you see here in this card, I feel this energy. Wow, it's like it's like funeral energy coming up from this, taking steps toward honoring the victims is what I'm seeing here. So yeah, with the Fool here coming up beside the King of Swords, I get this energy like the Indian government, especially the Indian government, are thinking about what is the proper course of action to take in this situation. I feel them weighing it very carefully. And I feel also there could be, now I do feel like they are going to try to, as I said before, implement new systems of maybe even aircraft production. But with the Fool, it's like, okay, we've got to step into a place that we've never been in before. I feel also there could be something like they may ask for donations actually from foreign governments, from people, because I feel this question like, okay, how are we completely going to change our system of our national airlines? How are we going to do that? It's going to be extremely time consuming, expensive, difficult. And I see them actually, you can say it's the Indian government in collaboration with Air India, collecting, I feel, some of the best experts from around the world and asking other countries to send their best experts and wanting to hire those people who are very knowledgeable about aircraft safety, but not only about aircraft safety as like the machinery, I feel like they're going to completely change something to do with their airports and to do with their management processes in Indian Airlines, Air India. With Nine of Cups here in reverse. You see, there's this rainbow here. You know, and if we're speaking from a sense of like biblical, the rainbow was a promise. Um, the rainbow was a promise that God made, right, in the Bible to Noah after the flood, which meant that was said to be a promise that I will never do this again. You know, I will never have this big disaster again, you know? So I feel like that rainbow is speaking to that energy here, like there's never going to be a disaster this big again, at least in India. Or I see it affecting other nations around the world as well, saying like we need to look at the safety of our aircrafts. And make sure that this never happens to any of us, to any country in the world again. So I feel like it is a big, big question of consciousness with the reversal going on. It's that bittersweet, you know? It's that like it's something that is a positive change, but it didn't come without disaster and horror. You know, horribleness is what's coming up. This word horribleness, I don't know if it's a real word, but yeah, that's what's coming up. And with that nine energy, that nine is that energy of Jupiter. And we know that the disaster happened on a Thursday, and the Thursday is the day of Jupiter. So in French, we say jeudi. Jeudi is the day of Jupiter, you know? So that whole nine energy coming up. Jupiter is also the guru planet, and it's the planet of the ninth house, which is the planet of teachers and being taught, and also can be about enlivening your consciousness and about spiritual and religious consciousness as well. So I feel like there are going to be some definite, like, I feel the world praying for the victims of this disaster and their families as well, and you know, generally praying for the world. Like I feel a lot of people thinking about the temporary position of life and just how, you know, we're so fragile. At any moment our life can leave us, you know, we don't know when that moment will be. So it is that energy. It's like pray now and believe in the good things that are now, essentially, you know. So I want to take this final card that popped out here, that this little scratch in it. I feel like the scratch is saying that like I get this feeling of the scratch. So I never saw this card having a scratch on it before. I never saw any of these cards in this deck like having a scratch like that, but I feel like this is an angelic indication or a spirit indication. I feel like some entity has put this scratch on here for me to just know that this is something important. So, okay, 7 and Aquarius coming together. What? Optical illusion. Not what it seems. Mirage, trap, unclear, visual effect, confusion, head trip, trick, hallucination, hocus pocus, sleight of hand production, predictive programming. What is it trying to say? Oh my God. So number 7 is that Libra energy. And number 11, Aquarius is number 11, independent, idealistic. Number 7 is that Libra energy, relationships balance. Optical illusion. What does it mean? You see the people in the clouds like they're walking on. It's kind of like walking in the sky, walking in heaven, isn't it? I want to say that I do not feel that this thing has happened on purpose. I want to just ask, you know, what is the meaning of this card? Why do we have to take it as well. Optical illusion. Okay. Something is coming out here. Seven of Wands. It's something about relationships. Relationships, balance, connections, for whatever reason. Okay. I get this indication. It's about something to do with peace. I don't know. Take it as you will, guys. But blue color also tells something about third eye, you know. Now, there are certain energetic things in this situation where it's like where we have to see, you know, why this had to happen in this span of time is the message I'm getting right now. It's like only in a few years' time is what's coming up. Only in a few years' time, I feel like we're going to see the chain of effects of how and why this happened, you know, why this had to happen for certain things to change. So with Seven of Wands, it's like you see this kind of like fighting with different actions or fighting with different things. Like we don't know what to do. And we know also that we know actually that quite soon right now, it's Saturday. What's today? Today is Saturday, June 14th. So we know that Prime Minister Modi of India is going to meet with G7 quite soon. So it's like this tussle. I feel like this card is actually coming up with a message about G7. Because it's number 7 here with Aquarius. Aquarius in astrology, you know, it's the 11th house, number 11th house. So it can mean about taking in money actually from, well, in a person's birth chart, it can mean about taking in money from relatives. And you can say that countries around the world, they're kind of like relatives to each other, especially in G7, when you're all cooperating together. It's kind of like they're your family members in a way. So it could be that somehow the Indian government is going to take this situation that has happened and use it in a way where they could be actually collecting money from foreign governments. I'm seeing something about that coming up. So yeah, you see here is that 7 energy and like dancing with the others, the other sticks like that. Yeah, guys. So I sincerely wish healing and justice actually for the families affected in this situation. We know they have gotten some payouts, money payouts, but yeah, guys, I just offer, if any of the victims of the families are watching, I offer my greatest heartfelt like condolences to you. Seriously, pray for you, your family in this really difficult time. I'm tearing up just thinking about it. So yeah, guys, if you liked this reading today, please comment down below, give me a like, give me a share, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, as well, if you have any other suggestions for readings around world events or famous personalities, could be celebrities, politicians, whoever, yeah, please comment down below. There will be a pinned comment down below as well, reminding you. So until next time, stay in love, stay in the light. Wish you all the absolute best and take care. Bye.